There's actually quite a bit of news for there not being that much news.
Yeah, there is. Why don't we get into
There's
it?
a lot.
So this week, hi everybody. Welcome to the PokeBeach.com podcast. My name is John. I go by Water Pokemon Master on the website, and I am joined by the sleep deprived.
Justin Basil of JustinBasil.com.
We were talking about some good news you have, but we're not going to talk about it on the
Not
podcast
yet.
yet.
No.
So this week we're going to be going over, I guess, the three big stories of the week. We have a lot of news this week, but the three big stories are that the Van Gogh promotion, we now know the full details of it. And what was the other one? We have a new set, Night Wanderer, that's going to feature the Loyal 3. And what was the third story? There was another big story.
Probably the Battle Academy.
Yes. And we have some exciting new English products and one not so exciting Japanese product. But we'll go over
I would
all of
also
that.
point out for a major story, Prize Pack 4 is a major story too.
Okay, well, we're gonna go over all of it. So we'll
Yeah.
determine as we go what's the what we think is big and what we think is minor. Even though it just it also just depends on the person and what they like. Okay, so why don't we start
Fair.
with? Actually, I'll have you pick. What do you want to start with? Should we start with Van Gogh?
Let's start with Pikachu because this story is
Okay.
actually new to me too. I just jumped in on this.
Okay, so the title of this story is Pokemon reduces the Van Gogh distribution for hobby stores in the Netherlands, but expands it to larger chain stores. At least 100,000 copies are expected. So, in direct response to our previous reporting about stores pre-scalping the Pikachu promo card, TPCI is now scaling back the promotion for those hobby stores. Yesterday, Pokemon's official distributor, Asmodee, contacted hobby stores in the Netherlands and told them that they are going to only be receiving 10 copies each of the Pikachu with Gray Felt Hat promo instead of the 100 that was initially promised to them. This reduction in the amount of copies they're getting was an order directly from TPCI in response to the scalping situation. So last week, I think we had theorized that if Pokemon reduced the number of copies that would be going to hobby stores, this would destroy their reputation because they had made a bunch of under the table deals with customers. So now they have to undo all of those deals and are essentially getting punished for having pre-scalped the card. So that's, I would say, very good action taken on Pokemon's part, especially after the whole fiasco we've been through this entire time since
No
last
kidding.
year. So now we come to the even bigger news. What's going to happen with the promo distribution now? Well, large chain stores in the Netherlands are going to now offer the card, as we speculated would be a possibility before. The promotion we have a date. It'll begin on February 10th. Customers who spend at least 30 euros will receive a Pikachu promo per transaction. So if you do it like 2 or 3 times, you'll get the promo that many times. And the article lists all of the stores, the chain stores it'll be at. I suspect that there will probably still be a little bit of scalping, but from internally, from the stores, from employees. But because these are large chain stores, they're going to have much more oversight. So I think the promotion is going to be handled a little more professionally. It's just my opinion. Currently, we don't know how many promo cards each store is going to receive, each of these chain stores. But we estimate it'll be at least 100 copies. This is because it's unlikely that Pokemon would partner with these chain stores and tell them they're only getting 10 copies each, especially when hobby stores originally were supposed to get 100 each. So pretty good chance it's going to be at least 100 promos per chain store. We estimate there's at least 1,000 of these stores in the Netherlands. So when you do 1,000 times 100 each, that comes out to 100,000 copies of the promo card. So we're currently suspecting we'll at least get that amount, but we have to still wait to figure out the numbers. We're still waiting on our sources to tell us because the cards have not shipped out to the stores yet. So if it really is going to be 100,000 copies of the promo card, which is very likely, this will inject, I think, many more copies into the supply chain than were initially offered. So that should cause the price to drop. We also confirmed that this promotion isn't just simply leftover stock that TPCI has in their warehouses. This is a brand new print run that TPCI ordered. So they obviously learned from their previous blunder and have decided to take corrective action, which is great. I mean, this is all you could really do. So currently, we don't know how badly the price is going to be impacted. Badly, I should say how good the price, how I should spin it to be like, this is a good thing. I want the price to go down. So we don't know how the price is going to be impacted right now, but the news just dropped. So we'll see over the next few days. I think, so now let's talk about our opinions. I think this is very good action on Pokemon's part. I don't think they could have done any better going forward than doing this kind of thing, because as we were saying on last week's episode, when you set up a system like this where you're giving 100 copies to all these hobby stores, people are going to people, businesses are going to business. So when you create a system like this, and this is the way you're distributing your promos, the hobby stores are going to abuse this. That's just, you're just asking for it. So by them reducing the amount and now giving the cards to the larger chains and printing all these copies of it, I think that is very good corrective action and probably the best they could do. What do you think, Justin Basil?
I mostly agree. I think going down to 10 from 100 is quite drastic. Maybe 20 would have been a more appropriate number just to give them something to play with. But yeah, the reduction certainly was warranted. It's clear that the issue with the scalping was fairly widespread and they needed to do something about it. And they've done something, and it was quite drastic.
Yeah.
This is and what's very unfortunate is this will punish some of the game stores that were not doing the scalping, but ultimately there's only one way to deal with it, and that's this. No one really wins except the collectors in this case. Yeah. Which is ultimately what you want, right? The Pokemon fans, if they're not the ones that are being appeased, they are going to just not collect, and then no one wins.
I actually asked our honest scalper friend. Honest scalper. I love when I put that in the previous news story. I called him an honest scalper. People thought I was actually serious. I was putting that in quotes to like say anyway. To be a little kinder to them for having responded. A little facetious maybe. But anyway.
Yeah, but sure.
But anyway, our honest scalper friend told me that this is just his singular opinion. It's not a, encompassing opinion. We haven't talked to a ton of people about this, but he said that in his view, most of the stores were keeping quiet about this. So his opinion was that this was extremely widespread, and the fact that they reduced it this much, I think, really speaks to that. I'm sure there were some honest stores, but they may have been the exception. I don't want to say for sure they were, but kind of sounds just off our limited investigating on that specific point that the honest stores were outweighed much more by the dishonest stores. So yeah, it's
unfortunate, but as one of the commenters on this video or on this article wrote, so sick of seeing this card.
Me too. And last night I was at a bar.
I am very ready to be done with this stupid card.
Last night I was at a bar talking about Pokemon cards in LA. And I was with a group of friends, and some guy just kind of joined in that we didn't know. And he was talking about how he's invested into this card and blah, blah, blah. And how he's gotten like 2 copies and he's wondering how much the price will go down. And then he asks me like, oh, you seem to know a lot about Pokemon cards. Do you have this card? And I'm like, nope. It's like, I did not go through the trouble of getting this, and I never want to see this damn card again. But
exactly,
there's probably going to be 1 or 2 more news stories about weather alert. Sorry, it's my house saying there's a severe weather alert. Kyogre is out today and causing a lot of rain. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. I was interrupted by
it derailed, and now mine's derailed.
Okay, anyway. Oh, no, there's going to be probably 2 more stories at least about this card, because we're going to find out how many copies stores are getting, and then maybe we'll see how much the value goes down. So this isn't over, but this is the best news we could have gotten. Oh, shoot, I don't want to say this isn't over. Watch it be like, watch something happen. I don't know. Stores are going to get robbed or something.
Stores' stock of Pikachu with a gray hat promos have been stolen.
Yeah, it's going to be something like that. So I don't want to. All right. Anyway, let's get out of this story. All
All
right.
right. Speaking of disreputable local game stores selling things and opening things they shouldn't early, let's look at Prize Pack Series 4.
Prize Pack Series 4. So, Pokemon has sent out Prize Pack Series 4 to their leagues and hobby stores, and they're supposed to release February 14th, but some leagues are already awarding them. I wouldn't really call that dishonest, though, because, like, Pokemon is setting up...
They are not allowed to distribute the materials. They actually can get their league shut down for doing it.
But do they actually do that, though, Pokemon?
Yes, they do.
Oh, do they? Have you...
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, it shows what I know. But I've seen it so widespread on Twitter that I just assumed Pokemon doesn't really care about it, because so many people are saying like, "Oh, I got these weeks." So many people are like, "I got these weeks ago." So I figured like once Pokemon sends them out, that leagues just award them as they receive them, and they don't care. But maybe they do. I guess you're saying they've...
No, they do care.
Okay.
Will they get everyone in a batch? No, but they'll get some of the biggest offenders.
Oh, well, I didn't realize that. So, okay, well, so I guess Pokemon strictly wants these released on February 14th, but some leagues are already doing it. The promos are this time from September 2022's Lost Origin through August 2023's Obsidian Flames. Again, the cards will feature classic Cosmos holofoil, like Series 3 introduced. So we'll see exclusive holo versions of several trainers and energy, as well as non-holo versions of a lot of them. I think people are going to be really excited about the Holo Palpad promo.
Palpad, Artisan, Bravery Charm, even Rare Candy. It was printed obviously in Prize Pack Series 3 too, but just another print of it is also welcome. The Cosmos foil on the Super Rod. The Cosmos foil on these Scarlet and Violet cards is just so beautiful because it comes through on the border too. It's so beautiful. This is how all of the holos should be, but I know we've already had this discussion. And then Ino too, another huge holo.
Yeah, that'll be another what?
So great to have that
$40-$50 card. She's also going to be holo in the Iono Premium Tournament Collection.
I wonder if it'll be a Cosmos holofoil there too.
It might be.
I know Clara was. I think Cyrus's Boss's Orders was too, right?
I can't remember.
I think they were.
And then the energy.
These energies, I love these energies. I really like the 151 energies, and I also really like how clean the placement of the Play Pokemon logo is.
Yeah,
it's just great.
Reminds me of I have it here under my desk, but we had in like 2002, I think it was, we had at Pokemon League's Holo Basic Energy awarded. I've got water energy right here under the glass on my desk. I can't pull it out.
Yeah.
And then we have like non-holo versions of Klefki
of everything.
and Luxray. And yeah.
Lots and lots of EXs.
So
Vs.
I pulled these
images. Are there still V's in here? Jeez.
Yeah, there are. So I pulled these images. I pulled these images from listings on eBay, and this was like a secondary part of the news story. But yeah, you can see here that a lot of people, or not a lot of people, some sellers on eBay have a lot of packs available for sale. So either these were stolen from the factory, or stores, hobby stores, are scalping their entire shipments. We don't know. So that was a secondary.
It's probably the second one.
Yeah, store scalping there. Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised if there's some fake Pokemon leagues out there. Maybe they have like imaginary players or something. Is that a thing?
I don't know. Probably.
So, yeah. So once again, when you put stuff like this in the hands of people will people. So. But there weren't too many people that had all these bulk packs on eBay, so I would say this is more of an exception than it is a rule. But in terms of like giving out the cards early, it seemed like plenty of leagues were doing that, at least on Twitter. So that might be the only shady thing here, I guess, but which I didn't even realize. But okay, should we move on to is there anything else we want to say about this?
No, I think that's a fair breakdown on there. But while we're talking about the basics, let's talk about the Battle Academy that was revealed last night.
Battle Academy. Okay, so Japan is getting a new Battle Academy product on March 8th, which is named like our English Battle Academy products. It'll come with 4 60-card decks featuring Sprigatito EX, Pikachu EX, Greninja EX, Lucario EX, and then they're also in these decks is Houndstone EX, Armor Rouge EX, Darkrai EX, and Melmetal EX. So the product will come in 2 versions. One is a simple version that just has the deck and some basic accessories. The other version is a larger box set that comes with a few more premium accessories. And these cards are... Oh, did I say? They're releasing March 8th. And these cards are supposed to be for families and teaching kids how to play. So they are not typically very good. They're very basic cards, actually. So I don't... were there any decent cards in this?
Nope.
Okay.
Not at all.
Well, then let's just look at the artwork a little bit.
They are bulky bulk.
So we have Pikachu EX, which has 1 attack, which has no effect. We've got Houndstone EX here. And Armor Rouge EX. They're really like promoting Armor Rouge lately instead of... Where's
the love for Ceruledge? Like, Ceruledge still doesn't have any X, but they're going to give Armor Rouge a second one. Cool.
Well, typically fire
let's go with
Pokemon.
that.
There's typically less fire Pokemon, so they usually. Yeah,
but Ceruledge is still a new Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet. They should have at least given it a Pokemon EX by now.
Maybe it'll headline.
And Greninja's going to get a second one. Lucario's getting a second one. Like, come on.
This cool Darkrai, which has like no attack.
The Darkrai is very
so
cool.
basic.
I wish everything else were better. But the art is very cool.
New Eevee, Lucario, Melmetal, blah, blah, blah. All right, so this is not going to be a competitive worthy product, but families are sure to love it because I think the English...
I just realized, too, this is the second Melmetal, too.
Yeah. They do it for popular Pokemon, but the English Battle Academy product like won some like Toy of the Year award, so... I kind of think this is why they brought it, brought the branding to Japan. So it should be popular with kids and families there too. All right, next product. Should we talk?
I understand them bringing it to popular Pokemon, but I would argue that Melmetal is very much not a popular Pokemon.
No, you'd be surprised. It was in the Ash had one in the anime. It's in Pokemon Go. It's very popular.
And.
This is a more general product, so it's reaching those like kids that, play Go or saw Ash have it in the anime. Okay, so we have a new English product. Speaking of Armor Rouge, a new
Exactly.
Armor Rouge EX Premium Collection will be releasing on April 19th for $39.99. It comes with a new alternate art, full art version of Armor Rouge EX, which has not released in Japan yet. But it is a reprint. And it'll also come with these Armor Rouge and Ceruledge card sleeves. So it'll come with the etched full art card of Armor Rouge, the two foil promo cards featuring Charcadet and Ceruledge, as you can kind of see right there. They are reprints, but they will presumably have Galaxy Holo foil, printed on Galaxy Holo foil. Come with 6 booster packs, a magnetic card protector, as you saw here, and 65 card sleeves and a code card. And these card sleeves had previously released in Japan in December, so they brought them here to the English card game. So yeah, kind of cool. I like it. I think the kids will like it.
This is literally just the full art again.
Yeah, but different.
But if we want something a little bit spicier, we can look at some mini portfolios.
Mini portfolios? Oh, this thing? This will take like 30 seconds. There'll be a new mini.
Excellent.
Our next news story is that there will be a new mini portfolio releasing on April 19th for $5.49. It'll feature Great Tusk, Iron Treads, Slitherwing, and Iron Moth, and come with 1 booster pack. And each mini portfolio can hold 60 cards. Neato.
Yep. It's simple, but it's a good product for kids. Holds their favorite cards.
Yep.
I like it. It's generic, but it's, you know what? It does exactly what it needs to do for not that much money.
And no fairy
it's
type
perfect.
On the side. Fairy type is gone.
They fixed it.
Yep.
Yeah. it was an inevitability. Let's be frank. It took them way too long to get rid of it.
Do you want to talk about?
Let's look at the other portfolios, shall we? The Temporal Forces Ultra Pro portfolios have been revealed.
Okay, the Temporal Forces Ultra Pro portfolios will release on March 22nd alongside the set. The 4 pocket will feature Raging Bolt and Iron Crown, hold 10 pages, and 2 jumbo-sized cards, cost $7.99. The 9 pocket will feature Walking Wake and Iron Leaves for $11.99. Include 14 pages for regular sized cards, none for jumbo, as you can see here. And yeah,
the art on these is what's cooler.
Yeah, it's our
these are always based on the pack art, right?
So yeah, they gave Walking Wake and Iron Leaves the bigger portfolio because they headlined the Japanese sets. Did I tell you what the Paradox Pokemon were in the video games? Did I ever tell you that?
What do you mean?
Like conceptually what they are? Do you know what Paradox Pokemon are?
They're paradoxes.
Do you know where they come from?
Maybe, I don't know. Spoil me, I guess.
They're so the Paradox Pokemon were pulled from either alternate timelines or our own timeline by Professor Sada and Turo. So, for example, Iron Leaves is either a future relative of Virizion from another timeline or from our own timeline. We don't really know, but they are in fact related to the Pokemon that they're based on, in either some alternate timeline or in some past or future version of our current timeline. So, it's just a fun fact, I guess.
So in another timeline, Raikou is extremely ugly.
Yes, and prehistoric. It's funny too because for the legendary beasts, Entei, Suicune, Raikou, those Pokemon are relatively new in the storylines of the games because Ho-Oh created them 150 years ago or something when the tower burned, Tin Tower or something burned.
Tin Tower,
yeah. So those are relatively new Pokemon in the world of Pokemon, even though they're legendary, and but they gave them prehistoric forms. Whereas the Three Musketeers are ancient Pokemon from Unova that protected people, and they gave them future forms. So they kind of flipped it around for both sets of legendaries. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
But I don't know. What's his face? Raging Bolt has kind of grown on me a bit, especially when I saw its artwork. And the other thing too is that these Paradox Pokemon really kind of defile for me the original designs of the Pokemon they're based on, and I kind of like that now to a degree. It's like when I first saw White Kyurem and Black Kyurem, they really I felt like they were really defiling Zekrom and Reshiram, and I feel like these Pokemon have kind of done the same thing. Maybe that's not the right word, but defile.
To me, Walking Wake in particular even is the look how they massacred my boy meme in a nutshell.
That's how I felt originally, but Pokemon, I feel like Pokemon always grow on you, or at least in general, they kind of grow on me.
I don't know. Somebody tell Gen 5. Anyway.
Was that 5 minutes?
No, I said somebody tell Gen 5. I don't like 3/4 of the roster from Gen 5.
Oh yeah, I don't like Gen 5 either. Unova. That was when it fell. We've talked about this before. That's when Pokemon, I fell off the train, not liking it as much. It's also when Pokemon went worldwide with worldwide releases, so I think that kind of had something to do with it. Like Game Freak's creativity maybe was constricted a bit because they had to. Was it Gen 5 or Gen 6 that went worldwide? I don't know, somewhere around there.
I probably was XY, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was XY. But around then is when Game Freak felt like they became a little more corporate and had to release things worldwide. So maybe their time frame to create games got shortened. Whereas before, they had all the time they wanted to make the games, and then the translators would work on the English versions for 9 months, and then we'd get it later. But now everything is worldwide, so their time frames are more limited. Anyway, I hope that was 5 minutes, PokeBeach readers who liked that one person's comment and said I had to talk about that story for 5 minutes. So there you go. I think I had 5 minutes. I was stalling.
I don't think that's actually the case.
You don't think that was 5 minutes?
You talking about the Ultra Pro story?
Yeah, the comments that I had to.
I mean, we went on a tangent.
Bullied.
I guess we didn't move away from that article. How's that?
I was bullied. I had to. Somebody. I don't even know.
Did you have to though?
You have to appease the readers or the viewers. But somebody posted that if it got like 25 likes, I would have to talk about that story for 5 minutes. So there, I did it for you. All right.
And it's such an important story to talk about for 5 minutes.
That's why they said it, because that's why, because it's such a
they should have done it on the mini portfolio article. That that would have been even more worse. Hilarious.
But actually, we still could have talked about the Paradox Pokemon there, because it features Paradox Pokemon.
Yeah, we can.
We would have found ways to.
The problem is you and I both can squirrel like nobody's business.
Can what?
Squirrel like nobody's business.
Squirrel? What is that? Squirrel.
Have you ever seen the movie Up?
Maybe once.
So there is a character, I believe it's Doug. It's a dog in the movie that wears like this collar where you can understand what he's trying to say.
Oh yeah.
And he's very easily distracted.
Squirrel. That's right. I remember.
Squirrel. Yeah. He's quite funny.
Yeah, we go off on tangents. Okay. Should we talk about Night Wanderer?
Guardy. Let's talk about Guardy. We'll save that one for last. That's the juicy one.
Guardy? Oh, Gardevoir.
Yes.
Okay. A new Gardevoir EX League Battle deck is going to release on April 19th for $29.99. It's going to feature 3 copies of Gardevoir EX, a copy of Mew EX, a copy of Luminion V, and a copy of Radiant Greninja. So competitive players are very excited about this because it makes a lot of good cards available.
I mean, to be fair, none of these cards are especially expensive right now. Radiant Greninja is probably the most expensive of a lot, or either that or Mew. But like none of them are that bad. But the fact that they're all available in one product that a new player can pick up in a deck that's not that bad and fairly straightforward to play, at least this version of it is after rotation. I love it. It's great. I'm so glad that they've done this product. I was kind of curious what they would do with the League Battle decks after Miraidon, but to me, this just feels like a great pick. I think they've done a great job here. They've made very good selections on what Pokemon to include with regard to the EXs, Vs, and the Radiant Greninja. The lineup on the trainers is not too bad. I think it's pretty appropriate. Obviously, it needs tweaking to be a more competitive list, but I think it's a very good starting spot for a new player.
4 copies of Iono.
Yep, that's that
really
by
good.
itself.
And then it has a really pretty dice.
Yep.
Purpley, bluey.
I know just see so much play. Like even if you're not playing, a lot of decks run at least a copy. Even some decks that wouldn't normally run a copy, you see people trying to force a copy in because it's that good of a card.
All right, and again, this will release on April 19th for $29.99. All right,
so $30 for all of this. It's such a good jump start into the game. Such a great product. I'm so glad they did these League Battle decks. They're one of the best products Pokemon's come out with in years.
The competitive game has really been growing lately too, like we've seen with tournament registrations, and it didn't.
And I would argue that it's at least in part because of this product, of not necessarily the Gardevoir version itself, the product line, and the other product I think that can be greatly attributed to that growth is the Trainer's Toolkit.
Yeah,
that's another huge
lot of
help
staples
for players. The most recent one wasn't as good as maybe it could have been, but in general, that line has been very good too.
All right. What's our next story? We did that.
Our next story is a Pachirisu. We're going to talk about Pachis.
Okay. And then, there's still some more stories. Gosh darn it. This never ends. Okay.
It never ends.
Okay.
He's like, oh no, we have to talk some more.
Yeah, we do.
To be fair, we're starting very late. That's my fault. I am so sorry. But let's keep going.
No, you're fine. No, actually, I'm more awake today because we started later. So I like it. If we did this at night, I would be wide awake and I'd be way more on top of it.
Maybe soon. We'll see.
See, like today, I'm talking much more fluidly. I'm more with it. When we start at 7 a.m, after I've been up since like 2, it's like Shoot me.
I feel like at this point I'm lucky to be stringing coherent thoughts together.
Yeah, especially
readers, let
you.
me know. Let me know if I am even coherent at this point.
You are coherent. You are fine. All right, so there's going to be a new Pachirisu promo included in Korokoro Ichiban magazine, releasing on February 21st. It's going to have both the Korokoro Ichiban magazine stamp on the card, as well as the Pokemon fan magazine stamp. We've never seen both magazine stamps on one promo. Fun note. And you want to talk about the competitive viability or lack?
It's not. It's fun. Like, it's a cute card, and I would expect it to see it as a promo or as something thrown into a set. But it's a fun card. It's not competitive.
Flip 3 coins for each heads. Attach a basic lightning energy from your discard pile to your bench Pokemon in any way you like for 1 colorless energy.
Yeah, if there were no coin flip there, I would be like, okay, maybe. Mm-hmm. But with the coin flip, nah, it's just not good.
They always throw in coin flips on promos to make them not
bad.
viable.
Yeah, they want to make them bad.
Because
let's look at the most valuable cards from Wild Force and Cyber Judge.
Okay, so we posted a list of the top 10 cards from each set. How much they were going for, by how much they were going for on auction websites. So coming in first place for Wild Force was Raging Bolt EX, the special illustration rare, which shows Justin Basil's favorite Pokemon, Raging Bolt. But I really like this card. Like, this really made me like the design a little more.
The card is nice. I love the background. But if that were Entei instead of Raging Bolt, or not Entei, if it were Raikou instead of Raging Bolt, I would like it more. If it were Entei, I would like it more too. But like, it's just not doing it for me.
So the Raging Bolt was the most valuable card, followed by Morty's Conviction, the special illustration rare, then Walking Wake EX, special illustration rare. And then for Cyber Judge, of course, the top 2 most valuable cards were Bianca's Sincerity. Obviously, the special illustration rare version with her dozing on the couch was the more expensive card at $102. That's the most expensive card out of both sets for $102.
By a lot, too.
Mm-hmm. And then there were no illustration rares that topped the top 10 lists, but that's because they're so easy to pull. But the top illustration rares from Wild Force are the ones here that you can see here: Fluttermane, Ghastly, Cincino. And then for Cyber Judge, Metagross, Litten, and Drampa. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's the rare, the alternate arts and the hyper and stuff in the set are really, really nice. Mm-hmm. I would like to point out too that Prime Catcher, the only main set card to actually make this list, comes in at number 6 on the list for Cyber Judge at $14.
Yeah, and
I expect that to go up, frankly, because it's gonna be such an in demand card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like we said, Bianca's Sincerity was $102, and then the next most expensive was the Raging Bolt for $37. So quite a discrepancy there, or quite a difference there, I mean. All right. Yep. Our next news story is Pokemon Day events are coming to Pokemon Leagues on February 27th. Stores will be giving out promotional merchandise to Pokemon Leagues to give out to fans. This includes exclusive Pokemon Center figures, Pokemon Go TCG items, stamped promo cards that were previously unreleased, and new promo dice sets. They'll also be sending stores a TCG demo kit. We don't have any photos or images of these items yet, so we don't know exactly what they're going to be. But leagues are invited to host Pokemon Day events on February 27th to give out these items. And I think that's it for that story.
Yeah, I think so. And to be fair, the events that they're holding for Pokemon Day do need to actually be on Pokemon Day.
Yeah.
But I suspect they'll probably let leagues give out their stuff afterward.
Yeah.
If they haven't been able to run the event.
Yeah, I already have confirmation of that, actually, that leagues can give out the merchandise at a later time, but they can only hold Pokemon Day events on Pokemon Day. They can only call them Pokemon Day events if it is Pokemon Day. February 27th.
There's going to be so much speculation leading up to Pokemon Day 2 because everybody wants to be the one that guessed what the reveals are.
It's funny. This is actually the only Pokemon Day news we have across the entire franchise, and I don't even think the large gaming websites even picked up this story. No, I know, but like everybody is so thirsty for Pokemon Day news, and then here it is, and I don't even think the large gaming
this month
websites,
too. I just realized it's this month now.
In like 3-4 weeks.
It's like 3 weeks.
4 weeks.
What a celebration!
Something like that. So we'll see what games get announced or expand or DLCs or whatever. Speaking of, let's talk about Night Wanderer. Let's talk about Night Wanderer because what we were just talking about with the DLCs and stuff might tie into the schedule we're seeing here. So anyway, we've now learned that Night Wanderer, a set that we previously discovered through trademarks, will in fact release in Japan on June 7th. The set will feature the Loyal 3, Okidogi, Fezandipiti, and Monkey Dory, all three as Pokemon EX cards. In the games, they're all three of them are poison type, but Okidogi is also fighting type, Fezandipiti is also fairy type, and God, these names. Monkey Dory is also psychic type. So in the TCG, they might make Okidogi EX a fighting type, Monkey Dory EX a psychic type, and Fezandipiti EX a darkness type, but there's other options they can do here. I'm not exactly sure why the set's called Night Wanderer if it's featuring these three, but I speculated that it's because of how the Loyal 3 snuck into Ogerpon's den at night to steal 3 of her masks. They also killed her human friend in the process, which is pretty dark for Pokemon. So they stole Ogerpon's 3 masks and then killed her human companion, and then Ogerpon tracked them down to the local village at night and killed them. And the villagers mistook Ogerpon for being the bad guy. They thought that the 3 Pokemon were defending the village, but actually they were the ones that started all the trouble. And so the villagers laid the 3 Pokemon to rest and dubbed them the Loyal 3, unfairly named them the Loyal 3, even though Ogerpon was the good guy here. So the set is also going to feature Pokemon introduced in the Teal Mask. Sinistra's Pokedex entry describes it as a Pokemon that wanders in search of prey after sunset. Wanders after sunset being night. Wanders at night. Night Wanderer, the name of the set. So the set could also be named after Sinistra. So that's all we know so far. Again, this is all, I didn't say again, but as usual, this is all preliminary information subject to change. This information comes out on these sell sheets, and Pokemon likes to kind of combine all the information together. So sometimes it's a little unclear which product they're talking about when they point out certain points. We've seen this before in the past where like they'll say, oh, this thing is going to have shiny Pokemon, but they're actually talking about like another product that is on the sell sheet. So sometimes the information's a little like mismatched with the item that they're talking about. But anyway, so, my opinion is that they are kind of milking the DLCs for content right now, kind of dragging out the TCG sets featuring the different Pokemon from the Teal Mask and Indigo Disc. And I think this is probably because there isn't any new content coming out till maybe the end of the year, so they kind of have to milk it a bit. So we'll find out on Pokemon Day if we're going to get like another DLC for Scarlet and Violet toward the end of the year, or if there's going to be a new mythical Pokemon, or maybe even a remake game or something in the style of the Arceus game for Unova. I don't know. But so on March 22nd, we're getting Crimson Haze, which will also feature Pokemon from the Teal Mask, presumably Blood Moon Ursaluna. April 26th will be Mask of Change, featuring Ogerpon EX. June 7th will be Night Wanderer, the set we've been talking about right now, featuring the Loyal 3. And then in July, maybe, we'll get Stellar Miracle, which will presumably feature Tropicos EX. And then currently, Pecharunt is the only new Pokemon that may be unaccounted for, but it could still come out in one of these sets. But, yeah. So what do you think?
You think they're dragging it out. I still think they're going very quickly through this. It seems very quick. If they're going to be done with the entirety of the second half of the DLC by probably August, September at the latest, that gives them like 3-4 months to just go wild with literally anything else, or with another DLC, or with some other content. That's
Well,
that's that's a lot.
so after Night Wanderer, or I'm sorry, so after Stellar Miracle, uh, they could still do what they just did with the not Indigo Disc. What's the other one? Teal Mask. So Teal Mask is having several sets. It had Wild Force, Cyberjet. No, Wild Force and Cyberjet had Paradox Pokemon from. Was that from Indigo Disc?
It was from the raids prior to the releases.
Well, so my overall feeling is that they milked out Teal Mask over the first half of the year, and then the second half of the year is going to be Indigo Disc, where we get like Terapagos, Pecharunt, any new Pokemon that were introduced in the Indigo Disc. So I think they could do the same thing for the second half of the year, and then lead up to.
But if we're getting Terapagos in presumably July, that's not milking it. That's really early in the year.
But we got Pokemon from Teal Mask at the very beginning of the year, and it's going all the way up till midway through the year. So that's half the year dedicated to the Teal Mask. So the second half of the year could also be dedicated to the Indigo Disc, is what I'm saying.
But the thing is Indigo Disc has Pokemon in Wild Forest and Cyber Judge.
Yeah. But also, we haven't gotten all the Pokemon that were in. I mean, they are mixing it up a bit. But what I'm saying is that I don't know. I guess maybe we don't know enough information yet.
It's kind of Pikachu's in that pancake is all I'm saying.
Well, we'll find out. I guess I didn't want to speculate too much on this article because I feel like we're not beyond Stellar Miracle yet, so it's a little hard to make predictions right now. But we'll find out. I don't know. But my feeling was that they were really dragging it out, but you're thinking the opposite, so I don't know.
I think the opposite. I think it's going very quick.
Yeah.
Because that gives them September, October, and probably even November to do sets. Plus they'd have a shiny set or some equivalent of it in December. Mm-hmm. That's 4 new sets of something.
Well, so August, September, October, November. Yeah, 4 sets. Maybe even 3 if they don't have one month or they have like a special product.
Yeah, they sometimes skip, but that's still 3 sets.
Well, so 3. Well, look, Terapagos, Pecharunt.
Terapagos is already accounted for. That's July.
Oh, that's right. All right, so Pecharunt, maybe a new mythical that'll be in like a DLC, and then I don't know.
Paldean Zeraora. Okay, anyway.
Who knows? We'll have to wait for
who
this.
Knows indeed. Look, I'm glad we're getting some more content from the TCG, and I'm very interested to see if the pace at which we get A-Specs continues at the speed we got for Cyber Judge and Night Wanderer, because seeing that many A-Specs in what is going to be one release for us, it's quite astounding. 7 A-Specs in a set is a lot. You
mean Wild Force and Cyber Judge? Right?
Yes, I hope that's what I said.
You said Night Wanderer. It's okay. I know what you meant.
Yeah. Look, I'm lucky to be coherent.
Yeah, I know. You haven't had any sleep this week. All right. And then we just had one more minor story. The Paldean Fates pull rates were revealed. TCG Player posted their findings based on a sample size of 1,500 packs. Basically, all the baby shinies, you get 1 out of 4 packs. The full arts, shiny full arts, and shiny illustration rares are at about 1 out of 15 packs. And the special illustration rares and gold hyper rares are about 1 out of every 60 packs. So I'd say that's
pretty good pull rates.
Huh?
Every opening I've seen for these has been lots of hits.
Yeah.
Frankly.
It's pretty decent.
So
yeah, that was the news story. And I think that's it for the week. Yeah.
That's all she wrote. Or all you wrote, most likely.
What'd you say?
I said that's all she wrote, but really that's all you wrote. That's mostly your stories.
Yeah.
I think even entirely, actually.
Mm-hmm. I have no life. Yeah, it's funny. Like, did I mention I was talking about Pokemon cards last night at a bar? Did I say that?
Yes, you did.
Oh, okay, I did say that. So, somebody was asking me how I know all this, and I'm like, well, I've been covering the Pokemon TCG since the very beginning, and I started the website 21 years ago, but I was, covering it even before then. But they pointed out like, oh, is there, like you seem to be like an expert at this, and I was thinking about that when I was driving home in the car, and I'm like, oh my God, I literally am probably the only person on planet Earth that has been covering this card game for this long. And it's fun. Like, it's fun to write stories about this. Like, I've been writing them since 2003, literally. So, it'll be 21 years this July. And, I enjoy covering it. So I get pleasure out of, spreading it. 'Cause Pokemon, the card game for me was, oh God, I'm going on a rant now. But the Pokemon TCG, like when I was young, that's how I socialized with other people. It was through Pokemon, because I was always very introverted, very awkward, and Pokemon was an excuse to talk to other people and go to tournaments and make friends. So when I post these stories, it's like I want people to get excited and for communities to grow and talk about the news together and get excited and talk about Pokemon. So I still get pleasure out of doing that, which is why I haven't stopped after 21 years, which is also probably some mental illness. Maybe. I don't know. I've probably got some. I refuse
if loving
to.
it.
I
Everyone loves Pokemon.
I hate time. I absolutely hate the passage of time. So I love to stand up to time and say, no, things can last forever. This website can go forever. So, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll get hit by a car tomorrow, but but then you can take over. But
I don't know if I could pull it off.
But, Pokemon is a timeless franchise, and I think it's going to be around for generations. I think it's going to be around for hundreds of years. I think it's going to outlive all of us. So, I don't know where I was going with this, but yeah.
Look, it's the cult of Pikachu. We all worship at the altar of Pikachu. So.
I like Raichu better.
Alolan Raichu likes pancakes, so that's pretty good.
Alolan Raichu. I have the figure right here in my desk. I can just pop random things out of my desk. All right. So thank you for listening to or watching the PokeBeach.com podcast. My name is John. You've also, why am I saying the intro again? You've also been with Justin Basil today. And, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We love reading your comments. Sometimes we're just too lazy to respond.
Especially when they contain Staryu for today's Pokemon.
Okay, that's a good one. We'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
And be sure to like, comment, subscribe, spread the word, yada yada. We've just submitted to Apple Podcasts, so hopefully after what
we are in, by the way, I've updated it. It is in there. It is there, so you can now finally after what is this, 21, 22 episodes,
21, 22
you can now finally listen to the PokeBeach podcast on Apple Podcasts.
Yay!
Please, if you are listening to this on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review so that other people can listen to this and enjoy it and get information from sources that aren't just going to try to sell you whatever they can hawk to you or lie to you.
People do that.
So, yeah.
Especially since the pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We will see you next week. What are we expecting next week? I don't think there's anything big on the horizon, actually.
No.
Let me check my notes real quick.
I'm sure Pokemon will surprise us.
I have a few stories that I'm working on, but nothing too big. Yeah. So might be a slow week. We'll see. All right.
We shall see.
Have a good week, everyone. We'll see you later. Bye.
Have a good week.
That was fun.
And we stop the audio.